Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Ashley. Today we are going to do some cooking with some dehydrated ground beef. That's right. I did this ground beef probably about 9 months ago. I did put an oxygen absorber in it, so it will last quite a while, but I have quite a bit more. So we're going to go ahead and start using it and then just replacing it with some new stuff. So, I'm going to show you how I make a cheeseburger pizza. It's super cheap, super easy, great way to use up some of your preps that might be getting old, close to expiration, and I guarantee you everyone in your family is going to like it. So let's make this cheeseburger pizza. Let's go. All right, everybody, the first thing we need to do is rehydrate this beef, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in a stainless steel bowl. I do have a lid for this. If you don't have stainless steel, that's fine. You can use a glass container. Just make sure you have some saran wrap or something to cover the dish when you do this. I'm going to be using some au jus seasoning. That's right, au jus. I've got my ground beef. I'm also going to be adding to it some dehydrated red onions that I did at the same time as I did that beef, actually. And I have some dehydrated jalapenos. Now, I'm not telling you to add jalapenos to your pizza. That just happens to be something Amy and I like, okay? I'm also going to be adding some pepper jack cheese to the top, which is something different we've never tried. I don't have any mozzarella, so we're going to use what we have. I think it's going to be delicious. All right, first thing we're going to do is dump some of this beef. Ooh, did you hear that? Oxygen absorbers are working. We're going to take some of this beef and dump it into this bowl. Now, I'm going to be using about a medium-sized pizza. I only put actually, I think I'm going to put some back. I think this is going to end up to be too much. I think it's probably about 3/4 of a cup or so. I'm going to go ahead and add some other things to this as well. I'm going to add a handful of dehydrated jalapenos. A big handful of dehydrated red onions. And we're going to add, I'm not adding all of this au jus to it. And you're probably asking yourself, why are you adding au jus? When you dehydrate these meats, it takes every little bit of flavor out of them. It takes all the fat and the flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to put some flavor back in this meat, give it more of a little beefy flavor. We had a friend named Ivan who taught us that. He actually does that with his regular ground beef, adds the au jus, and it really does give it a great flavor. So we're going to do this with the dehydrated meat as well. Sprinkle it in. See? Now, I didn't quite use half the package. Now, this method that we're using right here, you could use it for so many different things, except just don't put the onions and jalapenos or even the other seasoning in there. You could just rehydrate this meat, and you could go ahead and make sloppy joes with it. That's a delicious thing to use this for. Spaghetti sauce, excellent thing. Tacos, excellent thing. I think our tea kettle's ready, so let's dump our water on there. I'm going to hold it up so you can see. Oh, it's getting hot. See that? Okay. Now I'm going to give it a little stir. It smells like French onion soup. I'm going to put a lid on it. And I'm going to come back in about 30 minutes and we're going to see how this beef is doing. It's going to reconstitute quite nicely, so I'll see you when it's done. Let's look at the beef. It has really reconstituted nicely, so now I'm actually going to cook it in a pan because I want to add a little fat back to it, and then that'll help cook off the extra moisture on here from soaking them in that water. Let me show you. I'm going to add a little oil to the pan only because we want to put a little fat back into this meat, okay? So I put a couple drops in there. All right, see, I have a slotted spoon so I can fish this meat out. See how it looks, everyone? You can see the onions and the jalapenos have rehydrated. We're going to add this to our pan. Here, the sizzle. Going to get it all out of here. We are just about ready because it looks like all this fluid is just about gone. So I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to set it aside while I get my oven ready for my pizza and show you how we're going to do that. All right, the next part, the pizza part, is where it gets super easy and fun. I just use a cheap pizza from the store, cheese pizza, that costs like $2.50. The cheapest frozen pizza. You want a decent size one, but the cheapest frozen pizza you could find. Even if you bought little individual pizzas, if you're only making it for one person, you just rehydrate less meat. So really, it doesn't matter what kind of pizza you use. Let me show you my freezer. You know, a lot of times people ask, how come you never show freezer food, Ashley? Well, when we first got here, we got a second refrigerator with a freezer and we put it outside. Guess what? We lost power and we forgot to check that line. Well, all our food in it went bad. So from here on out, no frozen food for us. It's just not worth the risk. So we have a little bit in our freezer in our RV, and that's it. Everything else is either canned or dehydrated. That's the way it has to be from now on. Let me show you our freezer. Here's the freezer. Look, I've got it pretty full. Most of it is meat. I usually freeze meat like ground beef, a half a pound at a time for me and Amy. But look here, back in June, that's how old these pizzas are, I got 2 of these Craven Original Thin Crust pizzas. This is what we're going to build our pizza on. Okay, everybody, I want to show you one more thing because we are going to put some fresh onion on this before we cook it. Something I'm doing with every single onion right now is I'm regrowing them. Let me show you. See here? See this? See all those? This is beyond ready for dirt, so I'm going to be doing that probably tonight. But I'm doing it with all of them. Every single onion I cut, you cut off that little piece, okay? All you have to do is take toothpicks, just like the old grow an avocado pit. See that? Get yourself a little container, put water in it, and set this in there like that. And within days, the roots start growing, everybody. You can regrow food from the food you already have in your refrigerators. It's an excellent way to start your garden. And what I like about this, doing it one by one like this, they're not all ready at the same time. So they're kind of just ready as we need them. You know what I mean? All right, everybody, let's get to the pizza. I am going to dice up this onion. All right, now we're just going to put our toppings, okay? Got our ground beef, all ready to go, seasoned, delicious. I'm going to spread that on our pizza. Oh, look at that. So good. All right, now we're going to sprinkle the onions. Would you look at that? Oh, that looks so delicious already. The last thing we're going to add, and I've already pre-shredded, dun, 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 pepper jack cheese. Spread this thusly. Oh, we're losing some meatballs. We don't want to do that. Now, I've placed this pizza on a piece of parchment paper because I don't like pizza stuff dripping all over my oven. And this does say cook directly on the rack was the instructions. So I've put parchment paper underneath. And now I'm going to stick it in the oven. Let's go peek in on Amy and see what she's up to while this pizza's cooking. What are you doing?
I'm cutting us some wood.
More firewood. Got more snow coming tonight.
Yep. Therefore, more wood.
All right, I'm getting back to cooking. Look at that, everybody. Do you see this? Doesn't that look delicious? All right, we got to let it cool for a minute, and we're going to slice it and take a test. I'm going to cut it. Let's get a slice and take a little taste test. I'll get this little baby one right here. Look. Look how it stays. It's not, I'm not really holding it up either. See the bottom? See that? Oh, it's so delicious. I'm going to take a bite of this now. It's pretty hot. All right, everybody. That is so delicious. Now, normally, Amy and I would put fresh cut tomatoes on the top of it when it came out, but we don't have any. And that really, takes it up to another notch. Something else that I usually do is put other spices on it, like some crushed red pepper and garlic salt and things like that. I didn't do that because I used the pepper jack cheese, and I did add jalapenos to it, plus the fresh onion. I hope you like this, everybody, because this is my absolute favorite, best way to use dehydrated meat. And I'm telling you, you need to practice now. If you're making these things, but you're not using them, it's going to be harder in the long run. So try some recipes. Do you all have any recipes for ground beef that you could share with us? I would love to hear about it. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. I was hoping to get Amy in on a taste test when it was fresh and hot, but she's still working outside, so she'll just have some when she comes in. We're going to be talking to you really soon. Please like, share, and subscribe, and God bless you all.